everyone, welcome to this week's video. As I have mentioned in my previous video, I have an exciting first art haul for the year. I know I don't think I need any more extra paint, but still I cannot resist getting new watercolors and trying new pigments. So here we are. I will share with you some new colors I purchased from Arte Miranda, and also I have some other purchases here that I purchased in my local shop, and I hope you enjoy this little art haul. If you have been following me here, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, and if you are new, welcome, and please consider joining us, subscribing and hitting the notifications button. That will help you stay on touch when I'm uploading my next video. And if you like the content, don't forget to give me that thumbs up. I really appreciate it. So let's start with this box. I have here, like I said, a few watercolors that I ordered. Roman Szmal, of course, they released a whole lot of new colors at the end of last year, and I was super excited when this became available on Arte Miranda. So let's see what I got here. I have November 24. Really excited about this one. This is the type of color I really love, purplish gray. Then we have burnt sienna brownish, looks like a beautiful granulating color, and indigo greenish, of course, teals, how could I resist, and quinacridone rose. I think I bought a lot of reds this time. I was intrigued. I watched a video from Eve Bolt where she was comparing the colors to the existing catalog, and as I was watching her video, which I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested, my shopping cart started growing. We have here quinacridone warm pink, like I said, another red. Then we have a green, forest green, looks like a beautiful granulating convenience mix. Lava, another granulating mix. And Iron Chromite Black. Now, if you have watched my previous video, which I'm gonna leave a card here in case you want to check that out, I shared my favorite colors of 2024, and one of the colors that I featured in this video has the same pigment as this color over here, and this is PBR29. So I'm very excited to swatch this one and see how it compares to the one I own. Now, following box is like sweets, like opening a box of chocolates. We have, now this one I bought by mistake. It's olive green deep. I already owned this color and mistakenly I purchased, so this will be put aside for when I need to restock. And I have also previously swatched this on the channel, so I'm not gonna open this one. Now we have another red. This is carmine hue. It looks like it's granulating. And we have iron chrome black, iron okay, now for a moment I thought I had purchased twice the same paint because the name is so similar and the pigment is the same, so that would be even more interesting. I'm gonna see both versions of the same PBR29 pigment that I really like from Jackman's. with these two colors. The first one I mentioned was Aron Chromite Black, and this one is called Aron Chrome Brown. So two versions, same pigment. I'm really curious about it. And the last one, I think it's the last one, this is called Quinacridone Magenta Intense. Yet another red. I was in a pink mood when I made my order. Here we have a few tubes. So you may have heard last year Mella Mission Gold released a new line of paints with granulating colors called Tourmaline. I was very intrigued, but I saw that most of the catalog were convenience mixes, so I decided to order two single pigment colors to test and see how they look. And yeah, they are very well priced as well, so I'm curious about how they compare to the other paints I own already. So I ordered the Granite Stone Black, and this is pigment PBK 27, and then this one is Mine Brown, and this is PBR 29. Here we go. So we'll have 3 different PBR 29 to check. The Granite Stone Black, if I'm not mistaken, is the same pigment of Cobalt Black, which I own by them and I really love. So I'm curious also about how these will compare to the Cobalt Black. And then I got another Memory Blue color because I really enjoyed the previous ones that I got. I have a video here where I share the colors I got from Memory Blue if you want to check. And so I ordered this one that is golden ochre, and let me check if there is the pigment information here. PY43. I had forgotten I ordered this as well. This is I believe it's Skoda, yes, Skoda Prado flat brush, travel brush. I have been enjoying using flat brushes for watercolor, and they are not very common to find for traveling, at least at a reasonable price. So when I saw this one in Arte Miranda, I thought it would be a good idea to have this little brush in my to-go kits to paint when I travel or outside. And they sent me also this Arte Miranda pencil here. Apparently they are new and they were sending them as free gifts for people putting orders through when I did, so I received one, which is nice. I may even keep this cardboard sleeve. It's nice for journaling, you can cover with some paper. And what else? Now I will share with you what I purchased in my local art shop. I have another watercolor here, and this is Holbein Verditer Blue. I've seen a few artists using this here on YouTube, mostly for skies, and I thought it could be interesting to have it and see how it performs. And then I got into a bit of an acrylic phase. I don't know, I'm trying to explore a bit more mixed media lately, and I got interested in some acrylic colors. So I got this golden Titan Violet Pale, and I got also the Titan Green Pale. I got this turquoise green by Amsterdam Acrylics, and last but not least, this Galleria Pale Amber. I thought was a lovely color, and I'm thinking of using it for backgrounds, but diluted a bit like watercolor. I would love to see how it performs, so I'm very curious about this one. So this is what I'm gonna be swatching here for you today. I'm going to put these things aside, prepare my stuff, and then we'll be back to swatch. So I'm back. I finally got to unwrap all of the Roman Szmal paints. I glued the label over here so it'll be easier to refer, so I don't get also mixed up with the order of the colors, since there are many similar ones. I put a blob of the Verditer Blue from Holbein here as well. And then in the end, I'm gonna swatch all the remaining tubes and acrylic paints. So let's start. I'm going to zoom in so you can see well the colors. I also pre-wet the pens, and I'm very, very excited to see these new Roman Szmal colors. I absolutely love Roman Szmal watercolors, and they are always expanding their catalog. So the first one is Quinacridone Rose, which doesn't have an assigned pigment number. I'm gonna do it mass tone here on the left, and then I'm gonna dilute it a bit on the right. That's a very, very beautiful pink. Here we go. Very nice cool red, which will be great for color mixes, even though, considering there is no pigment number, I would be a bit suspicious of the light fastness, even though here it says 8 for light fastness. I will do my own tests just to see if maybe it's a new pigment that hasn't been assigned a number yet. It goes to a beautiful light pink. I forgot to mention I'm using the Canson Mixed Media pad for this swatch. The next one is the Quinacridone Warm Pink, and this is the PV42. I have only ever seen this pigment from Schminke. I'm not sure if it's called magenta, and I think it also features in one of the Paul Rubens 24 color pen set. It's also a very, very beautiful cooler red, a bit cooler than the previous one, more on the magenta side, but either of them would be great for mixes. Next one is Quinacridone Magenta Intense. This also doesn't have a pigment number, and this one has a light fastness of 7 to 8. This is even cooler, more violet than the previous two. So the last one in this row is called Carmine Hue, and this looks interesting because it looks like it's granulating. Yeah, it says medium granulation here, and this is PR221. Not too sure about this pigment. I don't think I have any other paints with this pigment. It's a very interesting kind of red. I have to wait until it dries so I can understand, because the reflection of the daylight coming from my ceiling, from my skylight, it's giving me a hard time to to see the colors properly. But yeah, it's an interesting tone. Kind of looks like a mixing between potter's pink and cadmium red purple, the forest green. I absolutely love greens, and you may notice that in my favorites videos there's always more than one green feature, because greens and turquoises are my favorites. Very nice granulation and some color separation as well. We'll see when it dries. Next we have the indigo greenish. That seems to be a very beautiful color also. Wow, that is a gorgeous dark teal. I hope it doesn't lose a lot of saturation as it dries, which unfortunately happens a lot with watercolors. But wow, really love this one. I knew I would love this one. Also, this one is already showing some signs of granulation. Sorry, didn't know that was cutting here. Yeah, it was showing some sign of granulation already. And then this one, in mass tone, it's almost black. Then we have November. In mass tone, it's really, really dark. I can barely see the color. I will need to dilute it. It's very rich. But I'm sure that this color, very diluted, will have some interesting effects. Maybe color separation. There's no granulation, but it's so dark. I'm gonna add a bit more water here to try and encourage, try to, yeah, it's very nice tone. The type of mixing between Payne's gray and purple. Really nice. Starting with the brown, we have burnt sienna brownish. Very nice tone of golden brown. Granulating. Let's add a bit more water here so you can see the granulation. I have received these paints a week ago or so, and I was dying to try them, but I was patiently waiting to share those with you when I had daylight and free time. Now we have lava. That is the other convenience color. Granulating. Very rich also. I need to dilute it because it's pretty opaque and mass tone. I'm trying to dilute it a bit more over here so you can see the granulation. It's a very rich color. And this has 4 pigments, I believe. Yes, you have PG17, PB29. Yes, 3 pigments, PG17, PB29, and PR255. Now, a lot of granulation showing already here at the top with the brown. We'll go to the other 2 PBR29 that I'm very curious to see, since I became a fan of the pigment when I tried Jackman's Hematite. Let's try first the brown one, Iron Chrome Brown. Also very rich, very opaque in my stone. I need to really dilute this one. I usually don't like to be passing the brush over and over in the same area, but this one is so full of pigment that if I don't try, you won't be able to see the texture and the tone properly. Now that's better. The last Roman Szmal now is Iron Chromite Black, the other PB29. And this is indicated that it granulates. Very curious about the type of granulation we'll get, so I'm gonna add a lot of water. You can see some granulation showing here already, but we'll see better when it's dry. Now I'll go back to my paint blob over here, the Verditer Blue from Holbein. Let's see. It's very creamy, which I'm not surprised since it has white in the composition. This is basically white mixed in with cobalt blue. But it's a really nice tone of blue, and it's not super opaque. I see how many artists like to use this for skies. It's a lovely sky color. I'm happy to have added this to my ever-growing collection of watercolors. I am going to put a bit of the Primary Blue Gold Ochre, or Golden Ochre rather, here. Got a bit of binder, so I'm gonna clean that and mix my paint. I always use this paper punch to mix my paint. I think it's very good for that because it's also easy to clean and you don't waste a lot of paint. You can just use it to drop some paint on the paper once you have mixed it. I hope I'm not mumbling too much. I have the impression sometimes that I'm mumbling, talking to myself. I hope you can hear me well. Let's see now this golden ochre. I really love Winsor & Newton's golden ochre, so I'm curious about this one. It's a very nice color, neutral, some type of kind of a burnt ochre, a bit on the orangey side. Really nice. Reminds me a bit of an ochre I got from Arca Creation in a palette. I think it was called Verona ochre or something. Now I am going to add here below the two Mission Gold colors that I got. So I have mine brown first, which is also PBR29. I have the granite or granite stone black, which is PBK27. It's the same as the cobalt black. I got also some binder here, and the clouds are closing in, so I have to rush to finish the swatching. So let's see those two. First, the mine brown. Very, very beautiful granulation. You can see immediately the paint starts granulating. Gorgeous. This looks a bit more maybe to the Jackman's. I'm gonna compare here on the side. Then we have what it was the name of this one again. It's the granite or granite stone black. You let me know in the comments how you pronounce that. That's a type of word that I don't think I had ever pronounced in English before. Nice granulation in this one also. Feels a bit more gummy than the other ones. Don't know if it's didn't mix very well the binder, but yeah, that's it. So now we are finished with the watercolor swatching, and I'm gonna swatch here the acrylic colors that I showed you. So first we have the Golden Titan Violet Pale. It's very light, but I think I didn't shake it. Let me shake it to mix a bit more. Now yes. Really nice pastel violet, but not candy color type of pastel. It's also muted. So I'm gonna change my brush here. Really nice grayish type of purple. I think would work well for backgrounds. I'm still exploring how to introduce acrylics into the type of artwork I like to do. This year I've been feeling that I would like to try new things. Or, I mean, I used acrylics in the past for crafts, but I'd like to try more mixed media and a bit of a looser approach. I have been doing the Burp Fest challenge. That is a bird a day for the whole month of January. If you happen to be on Instagram, you can check over there what I've been doing. So let's see now the Titan Green Pale. Is it there? Yes, Titan Green Pale. Also a very interesting muted green. Oops, got a bit overboard here with my square. And I just realized that I took my watercolor brush for that. Don't do that at home. I got confused. It's fine, it's just once and I'm washing it, but you should have brushes dedicated to watercolor, gouache and acrylics, because they are different materials and they will have different lifespans in your brushes. I'm gonna try this Talents turquoise green light. I was just about to use the wrong brush again, but I stopped it in the right time. It's a very nice type of Tiffany's blue, which I confess I just bought out of loving the color. I don't have any plans on how to use it, but since it's such a small tube and the price is really reasonable, I didn't mind. I also like using acrylic paints, like I mentioned, for craft, so I may not have mentioned here before, but if you follow me on Instagram, maybe you know that I'm an avid enthusiast of flea markets and thrift shopping, and from time to time I will find some piece that would need a bit of TLC, and I love painting and decorating, so usually I use the acrylics for that. Now, last but not least, we have the big boy, the pale umber from Galleria. I'm not putting a lot here because I want to dilute it and see how it behaves. It's a very nice taupe type of color. It's strange because being used to paint with watercolors, now using acrylics, they feel so plasticky and gummy, even though there are some watercolors that feel like this as well. It's a whole another way of using it. I have to find out and I need to practice. I want to dilute it a bit more to see. Yeah. Now I am going to use this tiny space on the side here to swatch the carbon, sorry, not the carbon, the cobalt black, to see how it compares to this one, since they are both from Mugello and they have the same pigment. I have the feeling that the carbon, here I am again making the same mistake. I have the feeling that the cobalt black was easier to work with. The tourmaline granite stone black was a bit more gummy and it looks less saturated than the cobalt black. We'll see when it dries though. I also want to compare the PB29s that are here, here and here to the Jackman's hematite that I have. So I'm going to maybe turn the paper around and use this tiny space here. Judging now, while wet, it looks quite similar to Roman Szmal iron chrome brown. But I'll let this dry now, and then we can have a better look from up close. In the meantime, I want to share something else also. I just received it here as I was in the midst of recording. I purchased this little mechanical timer on Amazon. It's very simple, and let me just zoom out a bit. Yeah, so I just received this now. I want to get back into a routine of making art every day, and one of the things I would like to do is timed drawings to try to get a bit more looser in my approach to making art and a bit more experimental. So I thought it would be good to have one like this, and I really like this one. One thing is that it has magnet in the back, so you can stick it whenever metal you have around. I have my metal trolley here with some of my supplies, so it's very convenient. And if you use it on the table, it also has this little part here that helps you to put it like this standing, which is neat. One thing I have to mention is that I did some tests and sometimes it wouldn't ring, but it didn't bother me too much. I like the convenience of having the magnetized back, and I think it's clean enough that I can have it on display. It doesn't bother me. So that's just some unrelated or maybe related neat little thing, this kitchen timer I got to do some time drawings. So now I'm going to let this dry. I'm gonna see if I manage to find the space to title the paints here below, and then I'll show you the close-up. See you soon. So I'm back. I still have a little bit of paint drying here, but I didn't want to miss the occasion to still have some daylight to show you this. So I'm gonna show you the close-ups now. So now what do I think? Looking at the mostly the watercolors dry, the pinks are really nice, but I think from the three I got, my favorite has to be the quinacridone warm pink, because it has the slightest tiny bit of texture here. I don't know if it was something that would happen again or if it was accidental, but I like, and I like also the type of red, the tone of red is an unusual pigment as well. This red is quite different as well, the carmine hue. I'm curious about the pigment. It kind of reminds me a bit of that dragon's blood, I believe is the name, but less orangey, a bit more red, I would say. And love the forest green. You can see here the texture, hopefully, on the side. Some color separation, also very, very beautiful granulating color. The indigo greenish as well, gorgeous. Like the November, even though now that it's dry, it kind of, for me, it goes a bit together with the other grays from Roman Szmal, like Prisby's gray and the shadow violets. It's kind of on the same lines, but I had October and now I have November. And what else? The burnt sienna brownish. It's nice, but it didn't granulate as much as I was expecting. I don't know if it could be the paper. I'm not used to swatch watercolors on this paper. I was usually using the Booking for fat pad, but mine has finished, and unfortunately, because that paper is great for swatching watercolors, but you see that this one shows a bit more texture, so I want to try these in different papers and see what I get. Lava is also interesting. You see the color separation here between this type of maroon color and black. Now, the PBR 29 battle. So we had Iron Chrome Brown here from Roman Szmal, Iron Chromite Black also from Roman Szmal, and Mission Gold Mine Brown. And on the side, I swatched the one that started this obsession, that's the hematites from Jackman's, and I have to say hematites is still my favorite compared to these three here, and I'll show you why. You can see here on hematite the texture, it's more pronounced, it's a bit more pronounced. The texture on the Roman Szmal version, it's very, very fine. Same for Mission Gold. They say granulating, but here at least it shows a very fine granulation. But on the Jackman's version, you see a bit more granulation. And what I really like about this hematite is that it's kind of an in-between the brown and the black. You see the Roman Szmal brown and the black? Hematite from Jackman's look like the best of both worlds combined. So you have kind of a brown basis, but you have the black granulation coming through. So overall, I still believe this is still my favorite of this pigment. If there's any other brands that would come out with a version of this pigment, I would try, but until now, this is still my favorite. And now, what else? I also put here the cobalt black to compare with the granite or granite stone black. And because I was curious, they are both from Mission Gold, they both have the same pigment, PBK 29. And when I first put them on paper, this one looked richer than this one, but now looking at them, honestly, they're not that different. I would say that maybe the tourmaline version, the granite stone black, has finer particles, but they are very, very similar. If you have the cobalt black like me, I don't see why you would need to have the tourmaline granite stone black. This mine brown, while I was painting, looked like it would have some awesome granulation, but as it dried, it has this very, very fine granulation that is not pronounced at all, so I was not impressed, to be honest. So I'm glad that I took only 2 tubes to try at first. And what else? There is the Verditer blue here, really lovely tone. I'm very happy to have purchased that. And also the gold ochre is a nice neutral tone to add maybe to my memory book palette. And finally we have the acrylics here. I love the violet and the green, the Titan green pale, Titan violet pale from Golden. They are gorgeous, they glide easily on paper, they dry pretty fast. This one didn't dry very fast. I think it has to do with the binder that was on paper first. The turquoise is very vibrant. I have to find a use for that, but I have to say, in matters of student grade or craft grade acrylics, I think Talens is a great option. I bought this big tube of Galleria, and I have the impression that I tried Galleria before and I didn't like, because I found it to be too gummy, and I have the same feeling now with this tube. I know that I tried to dilute it a bit to see how it would look, but I found it patchy and it didn't glide on the page as easily as the others. Of course, Golden is artist quality, so no surprises there, but the Talens standard series, I'm not sure if this is artist quality, but it's very well priced. So if you ever are in need of small tubes or many different colors, I wouldn't hesitate to go with Talens. So that is my first art haul for 2025. I hope that you liked. I hope that you enjoyed me going through these new colors, and I have lots of plans for future videos. I'm thinking of maybe building another custom palette, something about mixed media maybe, I'm not sure. I have other custom palettes that I've shared briefly in the previous video, and I really love working with them, so I don't know, maybe I'll go through that route again this year. And I have also more books to share with you and more talk if you like that. So let me know in the comments what you think, and if you have any suggestions. I love reading your comments, and I hope to see you here soon. Bye.